Hi, Wycliffe Barrett here, Xplane dedicated, and welcome to another vlog. Hey, can you see what's up here? Yeah, I've gone drone crazy as I knew I would. So I bought myself a DJI Phantom, but maybe more about that in another vlog. Anyway, we've had Ocean's 11, we've had the 4400, and we've had the film numbers. Now we've got the 25,000. I'll see you after the trailer.
Dublin, November 180 Bravo Bravo with it.
November 180 Bravo Bravo, good afternoon to you. Report your altitude.
2,000 feet on 1014 Bravo Bravo.
Bravo Bravo, descending for 60, so climb not above, initially not above 4,000 feet on the QNH 1014.
4,000 feet, Bravo Bravo.
Correct, what's your requested routing?
Let's go amend direct.
So what am I talking about when I'm talking about the 25,000? Well, I'm going to get to that in a minute, and then I'm going to show you. But in the meantime, this vlog is a lot of new stuff around at the moment, and there is lots of stuff in development, and that is just, I wish I could talk about that, but I really can't. I mean, we all know that the X737 from EADT is going to be coming out soon, and there are a number of people working on it as beta testers. I'm a beta tester as well as Emma Kate Bentley as well, and unfortunately the NDA restricts us from talking about some of the technical aspects of it, but what we can tell you for sure, and you've seen already in some of the screenshots, is that it's going to be a full 3D cockpit, virtual cockpit. That is about as much as I can say because of the NDA that we've signed and agreed on, even though it's freeware. So anyway, that is coming soon. I believe IXEG announced, or they had an interview with Frugal, and they announced that their 737 is going to be ready in 2015. We've still got a lot of 2015 to go. We're still in June, so there's still 6 months to go, which is an awful long time. But the 737 from IXEG is well on the way. And if you've not seen the videos on YouTube or on their website, then you've got to go and have a look, because it is breathtaking and is really the... Well, I was going to say it's the one aircraft that is really going to push Xplane out there, but at the moment we're seeing an awful lot of transitions, a lot of people coming, crossing over to Xplane and getting used to working with a new system. So I'm not going to say it's the best out there, because we've got aircraft which are equally as good, and this one will be, just another one of many in the Xplane stable. Okay, so there's that. Also, I believe that in the past few days, PMDG announced that the DC-6 or DC-3, I can't remember which aircraft it is, has gone into beta testing. I'm not that excited about the PMDG, got to be honest. I'm really quite disappointed in the aircraft they've chosen, and I think they've chosen an aircraft that's going to hit a niche market. It's not going to move in large volumes, and I don't think it's going to do what a lot of people hope it's going to do, and that is get people to come over to Xplane. If they'd released a 737 or a 747 or even the MD-11 onto Xplane, then that people would have come across in hordes. But I'm not sure about the DC-6/3. I can never remember which one it is. But anyway, that's in beta, so that's looking good also. What else? This past week, a new piece of object for developers, scenery developers, was created, and I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who did it, and I can't, so I'm going to have to find that out, and I'll put it in the notes. But what he's created is an animated ground crew. Now, I know this doesn't sound very much to a lot of people, but to us here in the Xplane world, it's a big deal. Especially to us scenery builders, it's a big deal. And basically all it is one guy moving suitcases from the floor onto a trolley. But what it does for the Xplane world is actually open it up and make it better than ever it was before. So we're really looking forward to that. John Span, he who created SkyMax Pro, is working again. I know he's had a bit of a bad year, but he's working again on SkyMax Pro, and some of the new effects within SkyMax Pro are absolutely breathtaking. Now, we don't know whether it's going to be a free update or whether it's going to be payware update. It doesn't matter to me. I will gladly pay for an update to SkyMax Pro. And at the moment, what he is creating is haze that you can actually fly through, so actually flying through haze and fog. That's one thing that he's creating. He's also redefining the cloud in valleys and around mountains, so that you actually, rather than seeing a sharp edge line around a mountain as you fly over with low-lying cloud, you'll see a blend. And there are a number of screenshots around about that, so go and have a look. They're absolutely fantastic. So lots and lots going on, lots going on. But let's get on to the 25,000, okay? The 25,000. What I'm talking about is a package that has been created by somebody called MH1212. Okay, MH1212. Don't know his name. And what he's created is 25,000 airports for Xplane. Okay, 25,000 airports for Xplane. This is an amazing project. It started off as a project for FS Economy, which is can be used in Xplane, and it just kind of grew, and somehow he's come up with a very, very clever way of creating AGPs, and AGPs are small pieces of scenery that have been put together and created as an object. So you might have a hangar, an aircraft, a tower or whatever, and somehow he's managed to create an algorithm that will generate an AGP based on the size of the airports. So we're talking about small airports, not international airports, but the smaller airports. And it works. It's absolutely brilliant. I installed it the other evening. I made a mess of my scenery ini file, and things went all over the place. But I got it sorted out with the help of Einstein, and it works. And literally, you can go to any airport in the world, and there's an airport. I mean, there's 25,000 airports, and it's you just download it and you drop it in. I think the whole size of it is somewhere in the region, maybe of 150 megabytes. Some ridiculously small. You know, a high-end aircraft is going to be a couple of 100 megabytes, and this is absolutely incredible, and it's free. That's the main thing, it's free. So 25,000 airports. Nobody can ever say that Xplane hasn't got any airports. And that's on top of all the 4,000 plus airports already that have been created on the org, and the airports that are in the gateway. Now the really clever thing about this application is that if you've already got an airport there, one of the 25,000 will not cover it. So it knows that there's already an airport there, a custom-built airport. Maybe Wycliffe Barrett did one, or Emma Bentley did one. And the 25,000, and I'll give you the proper name of the package in a moment, knows that there's an airport there, so it doesn't place one of its airports there. It's amazing. And the proper name for it is, and I've got it written down so that I remember it, okay. The proper name is Scenery for... No, it's not. Sorry. The proper name is X-Prefab Airports. X-Prefab Airports. 25,000 airports for Xplane. Well, that is it. It's a big week. Big week. And there's an awful lot going on. I'm going to very quickly try and put a little piece of film together with the 25,000 airports. And I'm just going to choose some airports at random and just quickly go there, and you'll see what I mean. Okay? So, that's the end of the vlog. I'll see you again soon. Well, I thought it was the end of the vlog. It isn't the end of the vlog at all, because this is an addendum. After I finished recording, I went on to my Facebook, and there was some information on there about FlightCon 2015, which took place in America. And I had a quick watch of it, and I made some notes if I can find them. Oh, yeah, here we go. Because Austin Mayer, who is the creator of Xplane, gave an address, and he was talking, and it was really quite interesting. I didn't listen to it all because it was very, very long, and a good deal of it was taken up with Austin explaining blade element theory, and that in fact Xplane has been a program in development for the last 20 years, and so when he talks about blade element theory, he's been using that for the last 20 years in Xplane, and
with each iteration of Xplane, and as time has gone on and graphics cards get better and computers and hardware and processors, etc., etc., his whole notion, his whole idea of blade element theory and how that impacts on aircraft is becoming more and more a realization of what he knew it could be back 20 years ago. So a large part of the address was about that. But then he went on to start talking about Xplane 1040, and what he said was, and this is new, he said that 1040 is going to be out in approximately 6 weeks. So I thought, and a number of other people thought, that the 1040 beta run was going to be a long run, like 1025 was. 1025 was an awful long run, and I thought 1040 was going to be an awful long run. But what he said in the video, in the address, was that we're thinking, or he's talking about 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks' time, Xplane 1040 is going to go out on general release to the public. So I was quite surprised about that. That was number one. He then went on to talk about the user interface, and he talked about how much he loves the user interface, and the reason why he loves it, and the reason why he loves all of the access to all of the data is because he's an engineer, and when he created Xplane he was looking at it from an engineer's point of view, and so whilst he considers the interface simple but powerful, he also understands that for some users it's quite scary, and so he's had somebody working on a new interface, and the person that he's had working on is a guy called Tyler, and I cannot remember his last name even though I just watched the video. Tyler has said that he can create an interface that is going to be as fun and as easy to use as an iPhone interface. Now, thinking about that, that is really quite something. Austin has said, yes, that is fine, but I will not waver on the need for people to have access to the fine controls. So you'll still be able to access all the fine elements of Xplane that we're all used to, you know, that user interface that we've had to get used to, and all of the other parts about it. You'll still be able to use that, but there will also be a user interface which, and I quote, will be as fun and easy to use as an iPhone interface. So that is really revolutionary. Similarly, within FlightCon 2015, PMDG and Bob Randazzo was talking about why they chose the DC-6 as their go-to platform for Xplane. His reasoning was that, well, not so much his reasoning, he hired somebody who had a lot of Xplane experience to help PMDG move to the Xplane platform. And they first started looking at Xplane 3 years ago, right? That's when they started their journey towards pushing their products out on Xplane. Robert Randazzo hired a person who had a lot of Xplane experience, had developed for Xplane and created aircraft for Xplane, and said to him, here's the 777, the PMDG 777. Your standard can be nothing less than that. Okay, your standard to reach an Xplane can be nothing less than the 777. And what they've produced with the DC-6 is something that is far in excess of the 777, in so much as that every button, switch and function will work in the DC-6. So therefore you have to make sure that every circuit breaker is pushed in before you can even turn the batteries on or get power onto the aircraft. Everything will work. Whilst Robert Randazzo was explaining this and showing this, I didn't watch the whole video because of time, and also I wanted to put this addendum on the end of the vlog. But what I can tell you is that my earlier assertion about myself not being excited about the DC-6, I am still not excited about the DC-6 as an aircraft for me to fly, but I can see how some people who like that type of aircraft will be over the moon, and they'll be like a dog with two doodahs when that aircraft comes out. Primarily, what it's going to do for Xplane is push the envelope right out, and what it's going to do for PMDG is allow them to then apply their learnings on that aircraft onto any other aircraft that they may want to produce for Xplane. So this is the addendum. I'm awfully sorry. It does mean that because of time, I cannot do that short film on the 25,000. I'll do that tomorrow, and I'll put that up separately as just a piece of film going through the 25,000 airports. I'm not going to do all 25,000. I'm just going to choose a few and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this really is the end of the vlog, and I'll see you soon.